Radley,
Yeah.
what we're doing with this podcast,
Let's do it.
ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to, I should do this outside. Bingo! Let people outside know that we're podcasting. If they'd like to listen, they can come in here. And what I'm going to do is just slowly rotate, because so many people that are out here have been involved all week. I'm going to rotate people in and out. Josiah's going to get the fuck out of here. I know Radley doesn't have to leave till late, so I'm going to chuck you out for a few minutes. I'm going to get you in and Chad Shank, and then we're going to rotate you back in as we go. We're just we'll do an hour
I will
of.
try to stay awake for as long as possible.
Well, there's a band upstairs. Go check out the band. We are. Yes.
Do you want me to get people in here now? Or
Just tell people that we're podcasting. If they want to come in and listen, they're welcome to, but we have to shut the door for audio issues.
give me a minute.
So go grab a sandwich, and you'll be back
I get
in
a
10
sandwich?
minutes. Yeah, there's whatever's left, go through the fridge.
Need to eat something.
Balko, you don't.
I'm drunk off
Derek,
Yes, sir.
this guy needs to eat something. Find him something to eat. If it ain't ready, make it. If you can't make it, find someone who can make it. Chad Shank, you're on the mic.
What's that?
Chad Shank, you're on the mic. We're,
Who else? Who else?
You want me on my regular mic?
Pat is on.
Okay,
Share
we're gonna.
mics.
Pat, I'm so afraid of fucking up your last name, but is it Morrison? Yeah. Okay, good. Well, my ex was named Morrison, so I didn't know if I was. What? Don't say it off, Mike. Eat the mic, Pat. Eat the mic.
Chad, we're gonna share.
All the cab drivers in Paris wanted to know, so that's what I came up with.
Don't whisper. Hang on. There's a domestic situation going on right here.
We're good.
Whoa.
We're
What's
good.
going on?
Just discussing.
Shut the door.
Ma'am, is this man bothering you?
Nah, we're getting right. Getting right.
Bring the bouncer to the relationship, huh? Is
right.
this girl bothering you?
We literally just wrapped the pilot filming for the last 4 days. We've been filming here. We had to do a bar scene here that I thought would be as easy as podcasting.
No, it was the Star Wars bar scene.
That's what I want it to be. I've described the pilot in Hollywood terms that they wouldn't understand because they're dated references, but it's Kentucky Fried Movie if it were live hosted from the bar in Fear and Loathing. But when you film shit, it's so fake and stiff, and you have to hit beats. And we'd try to get into conversations like this, and then you're like, we're out of battery.
We got 15 minutes. We got to download it.
And then there were good conversations. They just went off topic, so they weren't what you were trying to get.
Exactly. And we're gonna have to. I'm new to this, so I'm gonna have to figure out how we make this work.
Yes, you take the outtakes that they don't want for the actual thing and put them in the podcast.
Or you film for 3 hours. That's what we talked about. Well, we'll just film like 2-3 hours of us bullshitting, and I'll hit my beats to get out to the bits.
Yeah, I don't think you got to worry that much because it's the skits that make the point, and kind of have the humor go about it. And so in betweens, man, it was.
But I want, when we're filming for 3 hours, 2 hours of that was them up out of the chip is full. We got to download the thing into a thing and just
Welcome
sit there.
to Hollywood. Wah, wah, wah.
I didn't move to Bisbee to make it big, lady.
Bisbee came to you. No, we went to Bisbee. Hello.
Yeah, I am doing it. Pat Morrison was one of our 2 guests we had come in. Radley Balko, who will be on later, but he's shit-faced and he won't finish his sentence. So I threw him out. I put you in. Josiah Osego is here. Did I say it right?
Yeah, you got it right.
Osego. Okay. He's one of my favorite comics. The Tucson crew have come down, and except for that one douchebag, have always been, the Tucson comics have always been so fucking cool. And I had to call you and go, and then I texted you and I go, maybe I have the wrong number. Are you getting these? And by the time you get back to me, and I went, sorry, honestly, I just needed a token black guy but we already got him. But I really want you to be on the show because
Yeah.
you're funny, and we'll find another place to use you. And we tried to get you into the conversation
So
at
you
the
texted
bar.
the wrong funny black guy?
No.
No,
I didn't respond quick enough because
oh,
I don't answer to numbers that I don't recognize, and so it's kind of embarrassing. Got a new phone, lost Doug's number. So when he texted me, I was like, I don't know nobody in Cali. Nope. And he told me, he needed a token black guy, and I felt bad because he had to reach as far out as Tucson. So
The dregs.
I figured I'd help it
Well,
help.
If it helps you know why, we went shooting today for one of the shots where we shot watermelons. And Shawnee wanted to leave the leftover watermelons at the shooting range for somebody else.
That's
what kind of a black guy are you, man?
You've met Shawnee. He's
Yes.
that's
He's
why-
progressive.
he is technically a
It's so
partially
natural. You
black
look for the
man. You would
Halloween,
call him a
right?
black man, but to play a black guy, no, no, not at all. So that's why we had to reach out to Tucson because our black people are too white.
He's like, we don't have anybody with dreads out here. We need somebody with dreads and some bass in their voice.
And he hates being on camera, which I also hate being on camera. But you don't tell Johnny Depp that when he's saying, "Hey, I want you to do a TV show."
Yeah.
Didn't we
just
see
get on-
mostly the back of your head, though?
I have no idea what we saw.
Okay, we'll have to look at the dailies and see which side
I'm
of
sure
you we
it's all
got.
my fucking bald spot. Is that what you're saying?
I didn't want to put it in those words, but okay.
Well, they had two different angles, so I'm sure
That's true.
It's gonna turn out good, man. I'm excited
Listen to how
see
much
it.
more natural this sounds. So couldn't they just film it and then overdub just us bullshitting later on a podcast? It's the cameras that fuck you up.
Have
It's
it look
not
like
the
a kung fu
microphones.
film. Just have
Yeah,
us lip
yeah,
in it
yeah.
and words coming out.
And it's not just the cameras. They're giant tripods, like just to get to the bar. You're doing some kind of fucking balancing act.
Contortionist
Huge like,
type
lights
stuff
that
just
are
to get to the
800
chair.
degrees.
We live like that in LA all the time. I don't know what the big deal is.
Well, you do a podcast.
I do a
called
podcast. I do a podcast for my column. I do radio. I do television. So this is my life. I mean,
Plug
I
it.
practically carry my own lighting around with me, right? If nothing else, I have a flashlight under my chin. I look like
It's
a
underneath
Hitchcock
your
character.
hat. It's all
under my
underneath your hat.
It's all lighted inside the brim of my hat.
On your Wikipedia page, it says she will not go out in public without a hat that matches her outfit.
Or a hat pin, because, LA's a tough city. I got to have my own, defense.
Here
I
I'm
feel
fond
safe.
of the leisure suits, so I can't be a douche.
No, well, I've had to use my hat pin on occasion against paparazzi and mayoral candidates. So politicians beware.
Name names.
No, he's dead. It would be cruel. I did not kill him, though.
Oh, I was
okay?
going to say that's a badass hat pin.
You
What a
notice you
move.
guys all step back a little ways when I say that.
Josiah came down. He's gonna work. He's got a girlfriend that lives 4 hours away that's been waiting for this filming to end, and she's like, "Oh, thank God it's over." Wait, honey, we're gonna podcast.
That's what love is, man. So she's sitting back. Just like I said, we're gonna drive. We're gonna make it, and I'm
fucking the funniest man at Tucson.
I just want to say thank you for putting us on. So shout out to Natalie Bush. She hates being on camera, but she could tap dance, and she's holding it down. So I could be here.
Radley pulled me aside, and Radley has been drinking. How much of that bullet did he drink? 3/4 of a.
That's why he wouldn't let me interrupt him, because he was on this buzz.
His sentences didn't end, but when we brought up one beat, holy shit, he almost drank a full
Wow.
bottle of bullets.
Is there a Guinness Book Records for something like that?
I don't know, but I've Radley and I have gotten drunk together, and he recovers. But
that's what he's doing right now,
There was
recovering?
one beat that he felt was racist. One of the field pieces we did that we should have Josiah. He wanted to talk to him, and then he's trying to feed you your opinion that you should have. It's wrong for 3 white people to talk about whatever the gag was that I won't get into. I think Josiah should, and then
Here's what you should say, or at least ask
It's
this
like
question.
laundering you,
Yeah.
whitewashing you in a way,
It's-
right?
That made
if
it.
this is your opinion.
Yeah, and left that open.
But he didn't ever leave breath for you to give an opinion.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it is what it is, and his motives were good though. So I'm not worried about it. It was just ironic.
He put
Yeah,
you in an unfunny place.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you couldn't do bits at that point. You had to like defend your entire fucking race.
Yeah.
The camera seemed a lot more comfortable when that happened.
But I mean, he had good intentions, and he's more than 3/4 through a bullet, so can't really be mad at him.
Forgiving soul.
That man's a diplomat.
But Josiah works in rehab. That's what he does. After he got out of his own personal fucking crisis in an early age, now you actually do rehab. So the little tiny moments you consider it. I always think, oh, Josiah, that'd be cool. If I had to go to rehab, I'd go with Josiah.
Yeah,
You're a generous-spirited guy.
Yeah, just a glorified babysitter. That's pretty much it. I put grown
12-step
folks.
babysitter?
What was that?
12-step babysitter?
Kinda. I put grown folks in timeout. That's pretty much it, and help them. While they're not doing drugs, help them try to find that emotional pain and process it.
That's good of you.
How often do you get on stage?
Right now, about 2 to 3 times a week. We had some of the mics shut down, but when I go up to Phoenix, there's some book shows, and they're kind enough to let me on. So I'm still getting my time in, still keeping the teeth as sharp as possible. So
You don't have kids, right?
nah, I mean my lady has one, and she kind of keeps me busy. So we're going.
I knew because I know how funny you are, and just like Brett Erickson, who will be on the podcast, we'll rotate out in a minute. He was stuck in Peoria because he had kids in a bad situation with Is it good? Sorry, I don't want to be.
It's all good.
Yeah, he had to wait till his kids turned 18 to get out and go on the road. And I'm like, why is this fucking Josiah not on the road? There's got to be something.
Oh, well, okay. So I'm going to school right now, and so I got a few irons in the fire, and I want to finish school before I can get fully committed because, like I said, I'm a heroin addict, and before that, I was really good at messing things up in my life. So.
For the record, for my stupid fucking listeners, he was a heroin addict. He's saying it in the AA way of I'm always an addict. He's not doing heroin right now, or we wouldn't be here.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm
we'd be doing heroin.
Yes.
Yeah, with Josiah. I did heroin with a black guy. Does that give me street cred?
Yes, because he's not a crackhead. So, but like I just feel I'm good at messing things up. So I need to have a plan B, before I commit to something. And that is something right now with the level that I've been doing, I feel it's going good. I mean, I'm here at Doug Stanhope's house doing a podcast, so that is something I'd like to focus on. So, I mean, it's not the kids.
Jesus, I forgot this, Radley. The first time I was playing Tucson for a benefit show, and I decided because there's a lot of I don't know the Tucson comics because I suck at supporting the scene because it's 2 hours away and I drink. So instead of hiring a couple of local openers, I'm going to do Tucson's funniest comic. Everyone does, was it 1 minute?
Bullshit
1
competition.
Minute. 10. So I got 10 guys. I put it out there. I got 10 guys. Yeah, completely bullshit rigged. I advertised it as that. Rigged competition based on nothing you'll be aware of. And then I had 10 guys, and then Josiah emailed.
A day late.
Yeah,
I
and I
think.
go, well, you're a day late, but you're the only black guy, so I'll make it 11. So there is black privilege, too. I don't want to look like a dick.
I'm sure that makes up for everything.
Well, yes, the actions.
We're even.
Okay, the actions speak louder than words. Okay, if he was like, "We don't have a black guy, but you're a day late," sorry, but he was like, "You're a day late. We need a black guy." So come on. So the actions is what spoke.
And this came from conversation that we couldn't air on the TV show because it was not the point. But when you were talking about, you're a clever guy. You know how to get around bullshit in the system.
Yeah.
How often do you use black privilege as a tool where you go, that guy's.
No. Can I interrupt? Is
Yes,
that like
please.
saying female privilege, like officer, I'll give you a blowjob if you let me off? Come on. Is
Black-
that
okay,
what is
yeah.
black
Yeah.
privilege?
Black privilege is I can run faster than most cops, so I'm gonna run.
Oh, see?
Okay.
This is
No, when you
bad.
when you can find white guilt and use it as leverage, just like as a beautiful woman, you can use that leverage and don't act like you never did.
Don't want to go there.
Black-
I mean,
Exactly, because you'd be wrong.
because then it's like saying, how did I get this? I got it on the cheap, I got it on the sly. And it's not really real. It's not
Well,
really something
first
I
of all,
deserve.
you keep saying that's how we do it in L.A. In L.A., that's what it is using whatever manipulation you can to get ahead. Whether, he thinks, I'm not saying suck a guy's dick or fucking pick cotton for that matter. However base you want to drop this stereotypes.
Josiah and
but
I are like, whoa. where's
No,
this
no,
going?
no. I mean,
Okay.
So with to address that black privilege, white privilege, whatever. Because I like the point that you brought up. I think it's up to the individual to realize how they got to a certain level. Now, there's people who do it on the cheap. For instance, there's comics that steal the jokes, right? The thing is like, yeah, they might get to a certain position, but the downside is their comedy depends on other people writing jokes. So once they're either found out or that person stops hitting, they have nothing.
Right.
And it always just takes some time. So, I mean, that's why I have this lighthearted way where the racist stuff doesn't bug me. Nowadays, racism is not what it was. And I think that's where the shitty forms come out.
I was going to Chad on this because Chad and I, we have nothing to blame it on, but we always think everybody hates us, at least for part of the day.
Well, it's because we really know us.
And we think we're fooling everyone for part of the day and wake up going, they know. They know.
Earlier, I told Erickson, you guys were talking about the definition of smarmy. I had to look it up, and I was like, oh, now I know what smarmy means. I'm smarmy, but I'm really good at it because most people don't realize it.
Here's to you.
And so but do you use, is there such a thing to use? I'll use white
Well,
privilege to
all
an
right,
advantage.
Chad
It's all not running from cops and giving blowjobs. There's a lot of gray area.
Chad's very physically intimidating to look at. And,
Fat.
But you can tell he's a mean dude, and of course he's going to use that to his advantage. It's not
Right. But I'm not going to, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. At the same time, I'm not going to work on the other side of it and sort of play the white privilege card, too. I'm not going to say, wow, officer, I'm smuggling heroin and 16 illegal immigrants in the trunk, so you better look there because I'm white, you're going to let me go, right? So you want to earn everything on the merits. Whether it's racial, whether it's gender related, you want it on the merits. So you want to put that stuff off the table as much as possible, right?
Yeah, and I believe that's the individual's responsibility.
You're coming in next, Radley. I'll let you come in next, but I'm going to give you a word count. We get equal time.
Why didn't you do that
Separate
earlier?
but equal.
Did someone show him that bottle so he understands?
Yeah. Did you see what you did to that bottle? A bullet?
I think
something
he's
to
lying.
Yeah.
Jesus, I gave away my last.
I just had to walk him to the
Downton Abbey,
bathroom,
the
so
butlers
yeah.
mark the liquor bottles, so they know who's drunk how much. So the Downton Abbey butler is keeping an eye on you.
I would make these same arguments if I was sober, to be honest.
You know what? I'm gonna. You're sacrosanct. I'm gonna let you go, Josiah, because you gotta go. I'm gonna get people in that have been part of this shoot. Anyone who has a fond memory. Well, keep going. It's a podcast. We can fuck this up. It's not filming.
Doug,
That's
I
the
just
great
want to say
thing.
thank you before I go, man.
Film us.
Everybody,
yeah.
it was
Oh,
nice
okay.
meeting you.
They're going to stilt up the
Hang on.
podcast.
He just stopped the podcast to tell us to not stop the podcast because they're filming us from afar.
It's so meta.
Yeah. It's called irony.
Yeah.
Well, it's called having a production crew that is a town of your friends that don't do production, that do not act, that came together, acted and produced and PA'd and everything. Josiah's out. He's got to get his lady to teach school. He's got to fucking babysit heroin addicts. Thank you, Josiah Osego. Is that your Twitter handle?
Osego 985. Osego, that's O-S-E-G-O.
Hang on.
Osego 85.
Spell it one more time.
O-S-E-G-O 85.
On Twitter, and follow him on Twitter. Do I follow you on Twitter?
Yes, you do.
Good. Thank God. I'd feel like a dick.
Take care, Josiah. Good to see you.
See you, man.
Take care. Be safe, man.
Background music is the band.
Oh yeah, we have a. They're filming a band. Do we know the name of the band? Shade is the name of the band. We went to dinner one of the nights at the only really nice restaurant in Bisbee, the Cafe Roca, and they had a jazz trio playing in basically a cloakroom. And then Sam, the production guy, 2 Live Crew, says, "Hey, can we hire them to play on the roof?" And they got here like 4 hours ago. The fucking production never goes on time. And as much as those guys talk shit about, yeah, we've been working with Johnny for fucking 25, 30 years, then you should know how long this shit takes.
No, there's time, and there's Hollywood time.
I know, and you should know if you hire a fucking... we don't even know these guys. They've been sitting out on the fucking patio for 4 hours, and I feel like a dick. It's so hard to get over the hosting skills. I'm not on stage. When I'm a stand-up comic, I'm a fucking asshole, and I can be that, and I own it. But when you mix that with this... Anyway, enough of this.
It's your house. You have to be the host. You're responsible, right?
I know, but even when I'm filming, I'm thinking, oh shit, do they need a sandwich? What's with you and the goddamn
Did you
sandwiches?
need a sandwich, Radley?
Chaille, cut
Did
out
you
all the
eat?
stuff of Stanhope being nice.
Yeah. So
Radley Balko.
May I say something?
Radley
Yes.
Balko, everybody.
No, not till he's gone, because you'll whatever you say. She wants your seat. That's Gretchen now.
Hi.
Gretchen has done all the artwork on this.
Yeah, of course.
Gretchen.
Gretchen Baer.
May I say how cool Gretchen looks?
That's exactly why I wanted to speak. I just wanted to say, whoever you are, you're so fabulous.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Oh, her?
Fashionista, that everything about her is just, like seeing is believing.
Oh,
the
thank
whole
you,
look.
Lenny. Same to you. God, I love the
Fabulousness.
Elvis jeweled pants, the coat, the Chinese coat, the whole thing, the kind of pirate leather red jacket. You look fabulous.
Thank you. And you've got on ballerina slippers that are studded.
Yeah, so don't mess with my feet, right?
And
Black people are dying, and you're talking about shoes.
yeah. Anyway, I hope I am successful.
Podcast could
and
go
the
more
hat
downhill
pin.
than it
Why,
did.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Anyway,
darling.
so,
Bring Radley
hello.
back.
And your own. Right back to you.
Anyway, and I'm sitting at this mic now. I thought I'd point that part
So
out.
now you've got the mic.
Gretchen is a fantastic artist. If you follow my Twitter feed, you know her art. She has a whole studio just devoted to paintings of Bingo, I think.
Yeah.
That's true.
Here, from earlier, Maggie with Word in Edgewise. Go ahead. Did you want to talk, Maggie? Did you have anything else to say? I thought.
I was kind of done making my point, but if you
Maggie
have
has-
any-
No, I was making sure you were done with your point, because I had to deal with the fucking business people and trying to wrap people up and get flights arranged.
But just so you know, Maggie has been one of the most helpful and wonderful and open to any fucked up thing we wanted her to do. People that has been involved in this entire project, and it couldn't have happened without you. And you are fucking amazing.
And
so
Joe.
thank you. Thank you.
Maggie and Joe.
Thank you.
Joe, not so much. Maggie though. Maggie. No, Joe fucking also great.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, really fantastic.
Melissa, you want to come co-host for me? You make this all chicky. I'm getting the stink finger.
But
That's what we'll do.
We'll take
That's
a
what
break.
we'll do. We're gonna
Let's
take a
break.
break,
Let's
and we'll come
recocktail,
back.
reconfigure, and make sure all is going well. Hey, we've talked to you before about Audible.com, but are you one of those hipster douchebags who doesn't really count Audible books as reading? Well, you know what? I have the bookstore for you right here in Farmington, Maine. Twice Old Tales. Come on down to Twice Old Tales. You can get all sorts of. We have over 180 titles that you can come down and read, and they've been read before, so you know that they're good because someone read them and bought them, and then they gave them to us because nobody really reads books. But if you still like a clunky bookshelf, Twice Old Tales, right here in Farmington, Maine at 155 Main Street. Give us a call. Find out our hours. We're at 207-778-4411. Hey, what was that number again, Doug? 207-778-4411. We're Twice Old Tales in Farmington, just somewhere a long way from Bangor. Enjoy your book. Now, back to the podcast, already failing.
There never was an Irishman like old Brian O'Hennigan. He was a pretty farmer from Kilkenny countryside. Then he was forced out of his home 'cause it was gentrified. He hadn't any praties and he hadn't any meat. Next thing you know, Hennigan was dying in the street. To the ruler, to the ruler, aye. Next thing you know, Hennigan was surely bound to die. Oh, Hennigan was miserable and shifty-eyed and mean until he had his first kiss with a bottle of Pachine. Never in his life had Brian cracked an open smile. He drank it all in merriment until he threw up bile. To the ruler, to the ruler, Hennigan. There never was an Irishman like that Brian O'Hennigan. The rich man took his farm and food and hurt his Irish pride. He woke up with a pool of puke and piss right by his side. No skills but pretty farming, his choice of jobs was limited. He said, oh, I'll just drink Pachine, my death is soon and imminent. To the ruler, to the ruler, aye. That Brian O'Hennigan is surely bound to die.
Magghie O'Shea.
Yeah.
Did you hear that the first time, Chad, or are you still dealing with, geez. You know what? For a show to go that well.
Yes.
And to have the fucking rap party. Well, it's not an official rap party, but the end, you're supposed to be celebrating, not talking your friend off a fucking fence.
The atmosphere is meant to be ebullient and joyful.
Booleans. Yeah. Well, you know what? It happens here.
Yeah.
And sometimes you drink way too much, way too quick.
Mm-hmm.
And we won't air that part because, yeah, sometimes we wait a day and think about, let everyone that was drunk, oh shit, I shouldn't have said that name, and can you edit that out? Well, that we just edited out like 40 minutes of run-on sentence of a good friend, and we won't air it.
Yeah.
It's just, I was telling him, I go, to no audience, yeah. I was telling him, this is why, even as libertarian as I might be, I appreciate Last Call, because it herds people into drinking at the same level. Because even drunks don't want to be around drunks until they're drunk too. He just got drunk faster than everyone and thought everyone was attacking him. And like, just say, settle down, wait, quiet. We'll be like you soon. So now that he's finally got a ride, hey, there's 6, 7, 8 people left from the rap party that would have been if I wasn't talking down a friend in the goddamn kitchen with a repetitive sentence. Tracy, Brian Hennigan, Brett Erickson, Magghie O'Shea, Chad Shank, Chaille, and Homeless Joe. We'll come up with good. And Chompy.
Chompy.
The Two Live crew are packing up their shitloads of gear, and they'll be in to have a cocktail afterwards, and still have to leave at 6.
Yeah,
in the fucking
6
morning.
in the morning. Yeah. That doesn't seem like it can actually happen, right?
Everyone who sent porn, it's being paid forward we needed porn for one of the gags we were pulling for the show. And there's no porn in this county. There's not a smut shop. If we had a budget, and we don't, for the presentation pilot, so I asked the Killer Termites, the fan base, hey, get that broken dildo out from between your mattress and box spring. We need anything. We just need props for this gag. And it's, yes, if you listen to the podcast, it was kind of based on that cruise ship thing, but in a different direction altogether. So we get, go ahead.
I was going to say, I mean, we did try to get other porn. I went to the premier porn outlet in LA, the Pleasure Chest near our homes, and it was incredibly lukewarm, even by my own milk toast standards.
Yeah, we can't just use edible panties.
They fucking, and it's expensive. He said a giant dildo there was like $80. And we need a lot.
Yeah, he said the only preposterously oversized dildo was $80 and it's like, we don't have that type of coin.
What? We don't.
But we definitely do need preposterously oversized dildos.
Unlike every other prop that we could find, they don't have them in thrift stores. You don't get a big rubber fist at.
Yeah, because everyone here in Bisbee has purchased them to use them to hold up a corner of their couch.
I bet that secondhand dildo stores would actually do really well considering the prices these days.
I wouldn't doubt it. But our sense of humor here is so. Even you, a homeless girl who gets access to running water in monsoon season only, were weirded out about touching something, or maybe it was you, like picking up, I don't know, as a dildo or some weird thing.
Well, you're not going to want something inside
You
don't.
See, it's only an issue if it has shit on it. That's the thing.
Yeah, you don't know what the person before you...
Just to eat the mic.
Yeah, you don't know what the person before you has or had, like, where it's been. It might have been.
And I know what you don't have, bleach.
True that. I had rubbing alcohol in my purse for a while, but one of my friends who's a train hopper drank it.
Cocktails. I bet that we might be down to that at the bar after this last 5 days of all the alcohol we've gone through with crew and people. Yeah. We might be down to rubbing alcohol by the end of this podcast.
Dukakis cocktails.
But, we got enough. We got a shitload of porn. I can't thank everyone because I was really fucking busy and other people were opening packages when I was doing this one. I know Wild Eye Releasing sent like 8 DVDs of porn. That's the one I actually opened myself. There's other people to thank. We got, God damn it, it's a beautiful.
Don't pass over the fact that those are actual movies.
Are you
it's
kidding
not
me?
Gonzo footage.
This first one is called, which is a coincidence, The Disco Exorcist.
Yeah, they're all themed porno movies.
That was my rap name in the 90s.
I didn't look at these. This is just the one I remembered to put back here so I could thank at least someone. And there's a beautiful transsexual that tweeted me immediately. And I'm sure she sent some stuff because I told Kenny, open any packages because I got to go scout the location, bullshit, this and that. And he goes, I was waiting for something from Amazon for something else. And he opened it. He goes, yeah, it's just porn. And he said it with like a question mark, like, oh, it was porn he didn't want to look at. So that's probably the transsexual, and I don't have your name, and eventually I'll find all the thank yous. I won't, but I'll try. I'll feel bad I didn't thank everyone. So for our rap party, since this one was a little sullied, well, it's Sunday night. People have shit to do. Mm-hmm. We had a bunch of people come down to fill up the bar, but we never got to that part. And so I walked out, and then some people are drunker than others, and the crew has to leave at 6 a.m, and they're packing 18 tons. So we're going to have a rap party probably tomorrow afternoon, and it's going to be porn and mimosas. And everyone who gave me fucking old broken dildo is going to get 3 brand new dildos back. And all this porn is going to be spread out to the Bisbee community that does not have a smut shop. And it's going to be like replenishing the earth of a porn-free community. We had so much fucking porn that maybe we go house to house.
You're like Dougie Dildo Seed. You just travel around Bisbee, tossing out dildos and porn to the...
Fucking, there's a free store, the Brewery Gulch free store. You should leave all of it there.
Oh my God, that's a good idea. Not all of it. No, I got to repay some dildos.
All right, fair enough.
And I got you your emerald studded butt plug. I got that just
Ruby.
for you. I don't
It's
know
red.
I don't know one from another. So it's got a nice jewel on the end of it. It was $2.90.
It's a nice butt
Hennigan
plug.
found that.
No, not that end. The other end.
I beg your pardon.
Hennigan found, because he was trying every cheap way to try to get porn for this, smut toys or magazines or any old weird, but you found Amazon actually sells porn.
Yes, but I mean, it's interesting because I'd been to a couple of the, the sex stores in LA, and it's like, holy fuck, this is expensive. And wait, why doesn't the norm of consumerism work in this area? Why can't I just get it cheap on Amazon? So I went home, and sure enough, Amazon has a sort of secret site within Amazon that if you Google things like butt plugs and sore things up my ass, then sure enough, you're led to this, through this labyrinthine maze to Amazon sex store.
And you sent me there, and
I sent you there.
Probably like you, I started like, well, that's cheap, and then, well, let me see customer reviews. I go, I can't do this I need like 80 pieces of smut. I needed an avalanche of dildos, magazines, DVDs, anything that was, and it had to work well on camera. And I don't have time to do this. Let me just beg the killer termites to send old filthy porn. But it worked out. And,
didn't you get something from Angelina Jolie?
I saw that, and I know it was $2.99, free shipping.
Get ready.
But she had already mentioned a butt plug. I'm not gonna tilt anything, but she had already mentioned, well, maybe if we had a butt plug for that gag. And so I go, you know what? Magghie O'Shea is worth $2.99, and she should have expensive jewelry in her butthole.
Some people would go up to $3.99.
Super Shawnee's here. You don't want to talk, do you? No. All right. Sam, you good? I'm good.
Come on, Sam. Come over here.
Get him a strong drink. Who's driving tomorrow?
No, I got to drive first.
All right, we're taking a quick break because the 2 Live crew has to get the fuck out of here, and we got to say goodbye. Be right back.
Hi, I'm Tootie from The Facts of Life, and you're listening to the Doug Stanhope Podcast.
You take the good, you take the bad, you take them all, and there you have the facts of life. The facts of life.
You know how people say that their pets are like their children?
Uh-huh.
I
And
know
we're
that Chaille
live.
isn't
Maggie's talking.
Erickson.
Is Chaille recording? Doesn't matter whether there's Maggie's talking.
Always recording.
Should
She
I
doesn't
try
drink.
Jimmy?
They don't drink.
Brian, you want to drink?
I'll take a drink if you're forcing it on me, and it's decent.
I just grabbed a bottle of Jameson because it's easier at this hour. This is for me.
I know.
Okay. All right, smash up. Well, Maggie had something to say, but the tinkling of ice I love in the podcast, but the smashing of Brett Erickson and Chad Shank still gacked up on Adderall is not as soothing or romantic. The fucking eyes doing what we're drinking.
Nor was it intended to be so.
Yeah.
But your
See?
drink will be cold.
Chad,
Function over form.
Chad Shank and Brett Erickson don't need mics because they have
Because no one wants to listen to them.
See how many tweets you get agreeing with that.
Hey, doesn't Twitter have a poll function? Put up a poll. Let's see.
Remember a second ago when you asked me for a drink, nicely made?
Yeah.
Where is it?
Yeah. Where is it?
Yeah.
That's an existential question for yourself, my friend.
Hennigan actually rocked it last night when we were doing that show where I was like so fucked in like everything I was trying to focus on that I saw him like side stage with a notepad and my brain immediately goes to he's next because we had a various lineup of last minute people go, I'll go up.
Funhouse show in the Funhouse.
Here in the Funhouse. And I said, are you going up next? He goes, no, I'm taking notes for production. And but it put it in his head. So then he spent 10 minutes until Maggie was done on stage and then went up and just roasted everybody that had been up. And it was fucking brilliant.
Yeah, it was.
Thank you very much.
Yes. And as Chad Shank said, I didn't realize Hennigan was so funny. I didn't realize he was a
hateful dick.
And once you just embrace it, super funny.
Actually, I did realize he was a hateful dick. It was just the first time I heard him voice it out loud. He was usually just stewing about it. Like, I can't believe I'm around all these fucking people.
I saw him smiling a couple of times where he tried to hide it when I caught him.
Can I poorly recreate one of Brian Hennigan's hilarious jokes? He said to the nice Fiona and Brett that we invited you here because you're so good looking, because we wanted to look at some people who this show will be marketed to, you know, people with round symmetrical faces, not like the fucking mutants that live here, that have been here in business.
This was on stage.
Yes.
Just Hennigan just trashing the audience.
It was so
fucking
great.
brilliant.
That's great.
But Brian and I, like when we had to stage the bar for the show, like we can jam when we've done actual fun shows just for fun, not filming. We can jam 35 people in here comfortably, but it's not good for filming. It's standing and then seated lower. So for this, Hennigan's trying to go through. I had to make a list of every single person I could ever remember ever meeting in this town for this shoot. And we're going ugly to good looking because we need to sell this show. And I'm like, fucking ugly people are more fun.
Yes, but there's good ugly and bad ugly.
Well, that's what there's fun ugly. There's ugly I like.
There's Sopranos ugly and there's ugly ugly.
Exactly. I want Ralphie May fat, not John Goodman slim down fat. So we did kind of a back and forth. It was almost like picking kids for kickball.
But in reverse.
What about, I'm not going to name names, but I'm like, okay, yeah, those girls are hot, Bisbee hot. But there's other girls that I've seen at shows that I've hosted where I look at them when I'm on stage just hosting, and I feel like I've never been funny in my life the way they're staring at me. They're not bad people. They're just not good laughers. So if we're going to have a show, they're not the ones we're going to pick just because they're pretty. They're not going to get it.
No.
So yeah, it was a nice back and forth where we had trade rounds like Death Pool.
And I ended up with 3 people and then said, that's it. That's all I've got.
Well, what we ended up with...
Man, I ended up outside. What the fuck?
That's where you're comfortable. The pool or the lake?
You were lucky to be outside.
You mean old Rusty Stanchion?
And don't you think I don't know it, sir?
Yeah. Anyway, it all went down rather well.
It went down rather well. We're going to try to start a real after party tomorrow. Oh, sorry. I stole your ashtray, Joe. But there was one beat that fell into a part we had to cut out of this. That was Erickson. This was your idea. Oh, fucking Shawnee even left. Gretchen Baer. they had a brief bonding moment with
Who did?
Gretchen and Pat Morrison, who was
yes.
our guest on the show. And I hadn't heard this gag.
Yeah.
But Gretchen Baer.
It was
if you
Chaille's. It was Chaille's joke, not mine. Chaille
Oh,
thought
it
of
was
it.
Chaille.
Yes.
Either way, if you follow my Twitter, Gretchen Baer paints a lot of pictures of a lot of shit, but a lot of bingo. She could fill a warehouse of murals she's painted of bingo and photographs.
That's what I
And
was
they're
gonna say,
beautiful.
even
And they're all
photographs.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Every one of them is amazing.
They go out for full photo shoots just because they like to do that.
Right. And you've heard about Super Shawnee before, and they're married. They're the couple. Gretchen's
Yes.
amazing.
Shawnee and Gretchen.
Yes. So
A couple still that are sleeping together
So buying
in the same house with plumbing.
So going to the thrift store in Warren, the Your Thrift Store, which is really brilliantly titled.
It's universal. It's all embracing.
Yeah. Because you know what? No matter who you are, you're not your.
Yeah, yeah.
You're always your.
And
So
when I first moved here, there was also a shitty little shitty diner where the woman's breastfeeding her kid, smoking a cigarette while she's flipping your eggs. It's closed, but you could smoke in there, and it was the first place, and that was called Our Place, and it was Your Thrift Store and Our Place, and I was confused. Is it my place or your place or your thrift store?
Then you
Go ahead.
Our thrift store in your place.
And then you'd go
Man, I
back.
want
You'd go
eggs.
back to your own house that was called My Regret.
Yeah. So we're at your thrift store to buy stuff for the thing we're doing.
And
It's
just
Ggreg
to
Chaille.
drag this out so it's a lengthy enough closer, Brian Hennigan, this thrift store is so cheap that
It's-
Brian Hennigan has come back and shown regret for how bad he beat them. This is an American Tourister or whatever kind of luggage.
I would never buy an American
Whatever.
Tourister
Oh,
luggage.
The
whoa,
point is you
whoa,
would-
How
whoa.
dare you?
You would
Whoa,
find a
Doug,
brand
Doug,
name.
Doug, you're over the line. Doug.
I found a zero Halliburton suitcase. Okay,
What? For how much? For how much?
$7.
Oh my God.
Oh,
you guys.
how well does that name brand play with the listening audience?
Yeah.
They've
Listen.
heard of a fucking
Listen.
American Tourister. You
The people
cunt.
who need to know. That's an
I don't like the
impressive
listening
thing.
audience. Why do I care?
This is
Way to,
great.
Way
this,
to relate to people who pack in garbage bags.
This is a great.
I
This is a great
found a
podcast
hefty
beat.
39-gallon.
Great
at the
podcast
airport.
beat for 5-star travelers who are looking for thrift store advice. Thanks, Brian. Back to
So we're at your thrift store, Chaille and I, along with our bartender, Tracy. And three of us are buying things for this. And we were walking down the hallway, and we see this like terrible like cowboy painting. It's like maybe 1.5 feet by a foot. I don't know. And it's like the paint is slapped on there, like it's put on
is it
with
a painting
trowel.
of a cowboy or you
No,
just
no, it's just
assume-
it's just Western.
You're just being
Listen,
racist.
we're
that
in
a cowboy
Arizona.
painted.
No, yes, I'm being racist about cowboys. So it's like a moon and like a cactus and a mountain or something. I don't know. But it's terrible. Listen, any one of us could have done it in 4 minutes. So we're looking at it, and I'm like, and I tried to make the dumb joke to Chaille, like, oh, hey, look, it's a Gretchen Baer. And Chaille goes, no, you know what's funnier? Let's write Gretchen on that. And I'm like, oh, that would be funny. If Gretchen started going around to all the thrift stores in this town and Gretchen was written
No,
on
if
all
we
the-
did.
No, well, of course we do it, but the payoff is when she goes around and sees her name on the fucking painting she never did.
Uh-oh.
Chompy's attacking himself.
There's dog food inside you can bring out for Chompy. No, in the main house. You know where my dogs eat? There's dog food and there's water and stuff. There's shit in cabinets. There's food. Stop being polite. You're welcome here. Anyway,
Chompy shouldn't have to eat moss and armpit hair.
I just thought it'd be really funny. I just thought it'd be really funny. And
I thought in was.
Man, in
You
was
slurred
probably
enough
more
to make me picture a moth in her armpit.
In
hair.
was probably more accurate.
Oh my God! You know what? Sorry, Maggie, but you're a very hairy young 20-year-old girl, and I am disgusted by my own body hair to the point where I shower in long johns, Union Jacks. You know what that is with the butt flap, the one piece thermal.
Wow, really?
No, I don't do that.
okay.
But if I could, I just don't shower like you. But yeah.
I shower rarely.
Why? What? We're
Listen,
gonna close on the
you-
Gretchen Baer. Don't worry, I get this sorted. But what is it with you where you said we were joking the other night, and I said I'm gonna just shave you, and you go if you say it.
If you cut off my armpit hair, I'll cut off your dick.
See, I won't swear on the podcast because I'm a proper lady. But you did it. What is the attraction to not cutting off body hair? Because I fucking hate it. I'm happy to be balding.
I like body hair. I think.
Well, obviously, we're
it's there for a reason.
Shit. Sorry, Brian.
Shaving is really bad for your skin.
You need to get Joe in your chair because
I
the
just-
thumbnail for this podcast.
I just wanted to say this
us.
because I can actually tell you that the conversation Joe and I had, backs that conversation up because I sat with Joe and I told him how much I loved him and how much Maggie was great and how he was super smart for picking her as like this cool young chick who was like this amazing chick. And Joe's like, nah, I'm not even that smart, dude. She just has this fucking fetish for like long-haired, bearded dudes who's like super hairy. I just was the guy. Like, I'm like, all right, well then kudos to you for fucking jumping on that and keeping it because she's amazing.
If Joe,
but that's what it is. Like, it's not that like Joe's also cool, by the way, but he gets it that like, oh, she just likes me. She just likes me for my country music.
If Joe played Bigfoot, they would have to have wardrobe tone him down.
Yeah.
Usually people either say he looks like Bigfoot, Charles Manson, or Osama bin Laden.
By the way, I went with Osama bin Laden. Yeah. Because of the beard. You have the gray streaks in the beard.
I've gotten Rob Zombie.
And I can also tell you hate America. I can tell it. I can tell it. I can see it in your eyes. You hate America, which is why I wanted to hug you.
I would also go with Osama bin Laden, but I don't think he hates America. I've smoked weed with this man. He's a good man.
You ought to see me with a towel on my head.
Well, by the way, that would only occur after a shower, so we'll never see it.
This was a weird moment when sober, where I'm not good at social skills, which I'm probably not good at social skills when I'm drunk, but I feel comfortable saying things that when you guys came over one of those days, enema trial, and I want to say, hey, feel free to use the shower, but you go, would they take that the wrong way? Because you smell
Yeah, we know.
bad.
We did get to do laundry yesterday morning.
Yeah, Andrew let us wash our clothes.
I fixed this washing machine, so we did laundry.
But not even as a rhetorical question, because Doug did say that to me because we giggled about it after you guys were hanging out for like 2 hours. Doug's like, I wanted to tell them they could use the shower if they wanted to, but I didn't want to offend them because he's a sweetheart. He actually doesn't want to offend you. So like, if you're not into taking a shower, you have dreadlocks. Like you can't get dreadlocks wet. Like if you don't want to take a shower. Well, at this point, maybe it doesn't matter what you do to them. If you could fucking blow them up with a fucking nuclear bomb, you're still gonna do the same. But point being, he was, legitimately, sincerely, like, I don't want to offend them.
I don't
like,
know
the way you don't use a certain word around a person, like, I don't want to offend them.
Right. No.
So do you offer up something that they don't have, which is running water to shower, versus risking offending them, saying, oh, they think I need a shower? What are they?
Really appreciate the offer. We know that we are dirty and smelly, and we do appreciate the occasional shower.
But can you smell yourself? Because as a smoker, I can smoke the fuck
you're
out
the
of
worst,
a place.
dude.
I know.
The smoking.
But I don't notice it. I assume you don't notice it.
No, I notice it.
Some days are
Like-
worse than others.
I know. We've been around here for a week, and some days are worse than others.
To be fair, you guys really don't smell a lot worse than a lot of other people that hang out here regularly in Bisbee.
Who
It's
have
not-
access to showers.
Exactly. Thank you. Like people that hang around here in this bar.
On this side of the bar, yes.
I'm just saying, all the time, myself included.
Well, that was also the ultimate irony was that Doug, every time he said something to me about it, like, oh yeah, Maggie and Joe, like, I want to fucking tell them, like, oh, you should use our shower. Like, oh, you kind of smell like, oh, I'm that guy. Like, I rarely shower. Like, am I that guy? Like, you were the physician heal thyself couple for Doug. Like, oh,
But I do
get
smell
it. Like,
myself.
Oh, is it, does everyone who hangs around me fucking have the experience that? Yes, we do, by the way. And you should shower more often.
I should. I try my best. I have,
No, you
good
don't, because every day
intentions.
you say you're going to shower, and then every day you make zero attempt to do it.
But every day I say I'm going to shower. I have. It's the thought that counts. Have you never received a bad sweater for a Christmas gift? It's the thought that counts.
Yeah.
May I say, this conversation actually points out what everybody says about you. And that's like how kind and generous and giving you are. And like,
Cut out. We can't let anyone know Doug is a nice person.
Yep.
Yeah.
Put this with the Radley Balko footage.
All right.
No one can know
Actually,
Doug's nice.
May I say this? Even off mic, I don't care. But
No. Get on the mic. We're fucking with you.
Yeah.
You don't like. You haven't made us feel like unwelcome in any way, and like we do stink. We're dirty hippies, that live in a cave. Well, shed now, but
Well, congratulations,
you've never
I guess.
We're moving on up.
To the shed
It's made us
side.
feel like pushed away because of.
Well, you're really good people, and
Thank you.
I think a lot more people would know that about you if you didn't look like Bigfoot that stinks like a stumblebum.
No, listen, the best.
Hey, at least we don't reek of booze.
No, listen, the best story was when just tonight. I didn't even know the story till tonight because I met these guys at the Super Bowl party, and they've been fantastic from the start.
Absolutely.
But Maggie was like, yeah, you don't know, like the first night I came here, like the only reason I even was let in is that Joe had an abscessed tooth, so he couldn't fucking make it out because he does look like Charles Manson and Osama bin Laden fucked, and they're still fucking. So.
Will you
So the only
please
reason
make eye contact with me while we talk?
Okay, so-
because Chad Shank is the one that let go.
Okay, so-
no,
so-
let him tell the story about letting them in.
Well, I didn't know if I already told it. That's what I was thinking. Did we tell that
What?
story in a
No,
podcast?
no, we never
Because
put out the Maggie podcast.
Well, I never know who I'm supposed to let in and who I'm not supposed to let in anyway. I think we talked about that, but
We've
Maggie-
talked about it. It's not been on a podcast. Chaille.
Maggie showed up at the gate. I heard the gate. I heard a little voice go, "I'm locked out."
Maggie's like 3'9" with dreadlocks, and she's 20, and she looks exactly like my niece if things went a different route.
Her
She's
smile.
got a gorgeous smile.
Her smile's
It's
so
amazing.
cute. It makes you forget her armpits.
Which is a compliment to her smile.
Yes.
'Cause wow.
So I heard this little voice say, "I'm locked out," and I went over and looked over the gate and saw Maggie standing there with a ukulele, and I just.
Did you just pick her up by her troll doll hair and pick her up over the fence and set her down?
I was trying to be
Like
diplomatic.
a
I'll do
mother
it now,
cat?
But yeah, so I was like, "Oh yeah, I recognize you. Come on in."
Okay.
Yeah. So, point being, when I was talking to Joe and Maggie tonight, Joe, and they were both like, yeah, the first time we came here, if Joe would have come, we would have never gotten in. And we'd already been talking about, we can also cut this from the podcast, how sweet and wonderful and generous Doug Stanhope is. And I was like, yeah, he's amazing and he's a sweetheart. He has this reputation, but he's not. Yeah. So then they tell the story like, oh, the first night, like Maggie came, Joe had this abscessed tooth. Like if we'd have came the first night, if he'd have been here at 11 o'clock at night, like looking like Osama bin Laden and Charles Manson are still fucking, Chad would have been, well, no. And like my point was like, no, that isn't what would have happened. And then after he told it to me, and I said that to him,
If Joe
it took
were
1 second for me to go, oh, that actually is what would have happened. By the way, like there is no way you motherfucker would have ever gotten in here. Just you wouldn't have. But you are a fucking sweetheart. You took care of Margot last night. You're a fucking sweetheart, Joe. And you've been
that was amazing. And it's too much to get into with Margot on another podcast.
She is
But-
the sexiest woman alive.
No,
It's
that was
for the
my
record.
that was my other favorite story from the weekend, by the way. And I also told this.
Hey, wait, Margot wanted to say a few words.
Thank you, Maggie. I really appreciate that. I find you very sexy as well.
So last night, during the middle of all of this, I saw Margot still sitting there. This is long after she almost passed out and fell over. And
I thought
everyone saved
she
her.
might be dying, and I pointed to someone to get the camera crew to roll on.
Right. And not only, but
Just
not only,
if you know this podcast, you would know.
He was disappointed that Margot was okay. He was like,
wasn't
"Fuck."
disappointed. I would be disappointed if she had just really died right before she's going to be on the pilot episode, and she died, and we didn't get it on tape.
Right.
Yes, that's funny. If I die,
It's funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you ever did anything for me,
Always press
I want
record,
a
Kyle.
roast
Always press
that's
record.
None of it's heartfelt. It's just the shittiest things. Anyway,
so Joe.
No, I
took care of Margot.
I wasn't.
Joe took care of Margot.
I wasn't trying to get back to you. I was trying to get back
Sorry.
to me.
I'm
And I don't want to just like do the bit, but I have a bit on that throwaway special. But why would you? Yeah, I can't do it without doing the bit.
Do the bit.
Do the bit.
But
But then why would they buy the special? Because they're cool people
It's not even
who
gonna
would
sell that
never.
special.
Yeah, that's the Pop-Off Vodka presents an evening with Doug Stanhope that's so overlit. It was our first try, and it was a great show, except it's so
Well,
overlit, the audience.
It's
But
overlit.
it's here in the Funhouse, and we'll put that out somehow as a fucking bonus thing. It's shit that got cut out of
You
other
should market
specials.
it as it's overlit. Finally, the audience matches the performer.
Why would you choose to look
Rim shot.
that way where you're such a beautiful person? Why would you choose to make people afraid to be near you? Is it a spite thing?
No, it's actually quite. It was a spiritual thing. I gave up everything I had. The only thing I had was what fit in my backpack and my dog. And I went into the woods for 3.5 months.
See, the thing is that how you look and smell really don't matter. So if you look and smell awful, then only the really good, genuine people will even talk to you.
I mean, to be
so
honest
then
with you,
you're, you know,
We've just counteracted that by saying if Joe had been with you and you weren't a little teeny tiny girl, you would have never got in here. And you're saying we're beautiful, genuine people.
Wait, I'm going to agree with.
But
with
only-
I'm going to
Maggie
agree
and
with
Joe.
them
Hold
too.
on,
I'm
wait.
going to agree with
right
them too.
people
still
get to know that.
immediately accepted us.
Yes.
Based on my experience in having to deal with people that may or may not be wanted here, I end up talking with them for at least 20 minutes inside or outside
'Cause
the
you're a
gate,
diplomat.
being a fucking diplomat. Now, if I would have spent 10 minutes or 2 minutes talking with Joe, I would have known,
Yeah.
come on in,
Yeah,
Joe.
both of
Let's
them.
fucking
Absolutely.
chill out.
Absolutely.
I got some weed.
But that's not real life.
That's what would happen here, though.
The take of that bit is if you and you're not of the criminal element, so it doesn't actually pertain to you, but they dress the part if you want to be included socially. This goes back to that whole Radley Balko fallout that was way too many
Beep. Yeah.
If I were a drug dealer, I would have all my little kids on the street corners dressed like
My point is, your homeless people here are not representative.
I know, but the point is, if you just shave your, I think, wouldn't shaving your head be easier?
No. My hair is. I've been growing it for. Well, my dreadlocks are almost 2 years old. I grew my hair for 3 years to get them. They're with me every step of my journey. Every piece, every molecule of air I pass through is here. And believe it or not, they stay super clean. They're like almost.
But you look scary as fuck.
I honestly, I would love to just. I play with them all the time, but
I'm not saying I'm a pretty person, but you like. It's almost like you go out of your way to look
he doesn't
scary
look
as fuck.
scary. Let me tell you something. He was standing there on Hollywood Boulevard one day, and this little girl comes up to him and says, "I love you, Jesus." And he looked at her and
then
said,
her mom smacked her in the face.
"He does not look scary."
To small children who believe in fables. It's not scary. You don't look scary to me, huff and puffing, I'll blow your house in.
I could show you a picture taken of me 8 years ago.
You could, but you won't.
It's on my license.
He looked scarier when he didn't have as much hair.
Yeah, I kept my hair short for work. I work as a cook normally. And,
geez, why do you have to have hair nets? Oh, that's why. One dude.
Joe.
That explains that diarrhea.
I lose less hair than most people because, like, it locks in. Like, I don't.
Well, your
lose hair.
hairline is almost touching your eyebrows. That's why you lose less hair than most people, because most people don't have that much hair.
I'm blessed. I'll never go bald.
That's one word for it. Blessed.
Yeah, blessed, and we're cursed. You know? What goes up must come down.
But no, the hair thing. I hear a lot of shit about cultural appropriation too. That's bullshit because it actually came from Indian Swamis who gave up everything. There's no homelessness in.
First of all, go back for all my stupid listeners and explain cultural appropriation.
People think that white people who have dreadlocks are stealing them from the black culture.
Oh, not my listeners.
All right. Well, that's good because, and believe it or not, it's only these liberal, uppity hipster.
Because any young white girl that wears cornrows is culturally appropriating some black thing. Where
those are cornrows.
And now all of a sudden she's racist because
you're stealing caveman culture.
Exactly. Before there were combs, this is what everybody had.
Yeah, it's not all culture appropriation. I just thought you didn't wash your hair.
Oh, no. Actually, dirty hair doesn't dreadlock.
It's a few things for me. For one thing, I didn't have a comb. It was kind of a convenience thing. It just started fucking happening. And,
it just got away from you?
I just
got away from you.
I'm not going to buy a comb. I'm not going to steal a comb and risk going to jail to fucking have a fucking comb. I don't give a shit about things that don't matter.
Why are you doing 10 to 20 comb theft?
Erickson, this is where I used to...
But you're the most coiffed person in the jail. Of course, I stole a comb. Coiffed.
I used to say that about goth girls who take on that look to pretend they weren't ugly anyway. Like, I'm just gonna play. I'm gonna make myself uglier. Well, it's because you were ugly anyway.
Yeah.
Now you're trying to make it a look. Just be ugly. Be normal.
We won't care.
Ugly.
Yeah, there should be more like ugly people empowerment.
Mm-hmm.
I've already done the bit about it, and the world didn't change. It's on a. Hey, this is a good chance for me to plug merch. Because Chaille's been
take a
sitting
picture
here
of
for
Chaille. He's sleeping behind me.
42 hours, nodding out in his narcoleptic state. So buy some merch. The there's a bit on one of those things. Buy them all and find it. Like
There's a
Where's
bit on one of
Waldo?
those
How's that
things.
for a plug?
That is the worst
back to
promo
Italy,
for a
though.
thing. You don't even remember it. First of all,
Well, it's
and
related
I
to
don't
something
either.
said.
First of all, I don't either. But you don't in any way remember what we were talking about for sure.
Hey, I just want while I'm doing the plugs, at
You can't change the subject.
Brett, not Brent, is Brett Erickson. Chad Shank is at HD Fatty with a Y, and Maggie and Joe are at the cave up somewhere, Brewery Gulch towards the end, but they're moving to a different cave.
Listen, if you're ever in Tucson and you happen to hear a really, really funny, beautiful girl who's singing a song about how much you suck living in Tucson.
No,
No, wait,
That was
Tempe.
Wait, listen, Tucson's fine. If you're living in Tempe and you hear a really beautiful girl singing a song about how terrible you are living in Tempe, then give her $5.
Thank you,
oh,
man.
oh, that was the worst.
Fuck that.
Erickson.
No, listen, I already blew it because I
Erickson.
thought it was Tucson. I already blew it.
That was the
I was
worst.
trying
part.
to do a nice thing.
It doesn't matter what city.
Well, no, it did though. It kind of did though.
The
Tempe
worst.
are homeless people.
Because Tucson's fine, but Tempe is fucked up.
Hey, listen,
Yeah.
I'm
Erickson.
trying to save it.
Erickson. The worst part is when I passed her saying, "Oh, she's wearing the same clothes from 5 days ago," and I've been wearing the same clothes for 8 days in my pajamas. The worst part is I passed her. I said hello. I told her what we're planning for this show, and she's busking, and I didn't have a fucking nickel on me. After that whole weird weekend, I didn't have. I go, fuck, I don't have any money to give you. Just sitting there clogging up your busking hour,
Yeah.
taking you away from the fucking elderly tourists.
It's a really, truly beautiful thing, and I'm sorry to jump in before you could respond to that, but honestly, this is a really, truly beautiful thing to me about you that we've been talking about a little bit, is that you two, Maggie and Joe, have been amazing and wonderful, and yes, we've stolen you away from your busking, but you have agreed to do that. Because whether you are,
I made up for it.
Well, listen, of course you have, but
Listen,
without
so-
even saying that,
and she earned
without
it.
even saying that, you already get it that there's way funnier shit happening with us than there is fucking sitting in front of the Bisbee Coffee Cafe, whatever the fuck you do.
Oh,
like,
wait,
we're doing funny, like, and you guys have been gorgeous and wonderful.
Okay, stop with the I love you, mans. This goes back to a Chad Shank podcast couple weeks maybe during your mental breakdown, where there was two people that were shoved away from busking in front of the Bisbee Coffee Company, and 2 days later their
vandalism.
newspapers were
Ben and
ripped up,
Bryson.
and
I
then
remember
What?
that lackluster police beat.
that was them and their friends.
Yeah.
It looked like cake or cookies. Cookies were smeared on the window.
He just told me about that. I didn't hear about it, but we know the kids.
These guys
Yeah.
don't seem like vindictive hippies here. They won't smear cookies. Or
But
Yeah,
some
we didn't
weird-
do
they
that.
knew the ones that did.
But we do know
We
them.
were kicked out the front of that with those two. We happened to be inside grabbing a slice of pizza. We
How
come
do
out-
you have bad company? All right.
Oh, well, they're awesome company. You know, they're great people.
I know, but when you're casting aspersions on those other people, it wasn't us. Well, they thought we looked fine out in front of their
They had been in the
business.
store like
No, they made us leave.
aggressively engaging customers in conversation. Like, so that's why we went and got a piece of pizza.
Yeah,
That's
our
why you
friend-
went and got a cave like me. Just let's not go out into town anymore. Fuck these people.
Yeah, our
Well,
friend
they
Ben
were-
is just kind of a wingnut, and he was like going up to old ladies and being like, "Hey, I bet I could beat you in bridge. You want to play bridge? I got some money to put on it." You know, and just like being a fucking weirdo. You know,
That's the best way to get people to give you money.
We're gonna close on this. Gretchen Baer, Chaille swears he'll do it, and it might not ever happen, but Gretchen Baer, the local artist, good friend of ours who's helped us out through all this bullshit, that idea of putting Gretchen Baer's signature on shitty dollar paintings at a thrift store. If you, Chaille's gonna get a stencil of her signature from a real painting, and he's gonna put it on the website. And however he does that shit
for download.
Yeah, you can download that as a stencil and just go into thrift stores and find the shittiest paintings and put Gretchen Baer's name. I think she's at Gretchen Baer, Baer. And yeah, tweet those at us, and that will make us laugh and laugh. Because we make you laugh and laugh or bore you to tears for free. So bore us to tears for free at Doug Stanhope, at Ggreg Chaille, Chaille, at HD Fatty, at we're moving into a new cave. We'll talk about that on the next podcast. This is the wrap up party from the Untitled show that we filmed. Thank you. Hey, please play some Mishka Shubaly.
The potato peelings in the sink did not turn into vodka as I had hoped. I only start to need a drink after the liquor stores have closed. I heard you changed your name again, darling. Don't you change your hair. It was the only thing I liked about you in the end. La la la.
I'm trying to stop this podcast from happening.
Chaille will fall asleep on the pause button pretty soon.
You want to hear something? Oh, we're still recording?
No, we're not recording at
No,
all.
it's
But
fine.
speak
Right.
into the
Yeah.
microphone because
Right, speak
I
into the
can't hear
microphone.
you.
Definitely
I
not
have
recording
I
now.
have a hearing
We were
improvement.
figuring this out. My grandfather was a Gunquin out of Maine. Her ancestors came over on the Mayflower and slaughtered mine.
Yeah, that's what people do.
Yeah.
They kill each other.
She's my
See?
reparation.
Boils down to overpopulation.
That's not totally
They-
accurate, by the way.
Well,
that's
Well,
not
that's
totally
because her greater parents fucked too much to the point where it was an unlivable situation where they lived and they had to come over and kill
Yes.
other people
They
to
had-
make some new land.
They had less potatoes than they had people. And once you have less potatoes than you have people, you got to leave the island you're on. Go to a new place.
That's not the problem. The problem is not more people. Then we just need less potatoes
and more land.
Been looking at it all wrong.
I'll just,
That's what I can do with that land. Plant lots of potatoes.
Here's the thing. I'm going to sit up and drink for a while. And I don't mind doing it into a microphone. And I don't care about dead air. The only thing that's missing is music, which I don't generally like, but it probably add a little element to this huge wrap-up party. I guess the problem is when you work like we work, that is kind of the party. So by the time the wrap-up party comes, you're like, it's like Monday after Super Bowl. Like, yeah, we partied for the entire shoot. You should probably get some sleep. So shut that off, Chaille, and let's go to bed and keep drinking and then have lots of painful memories of things we don't remember.